So for the last 2 years now, well, it's been a little bit less than that because it's taking a little bit for the medication to work through my body. But I no longer have night sweats. I can eat not properly or eat whatever I want. It used to be where I couldn't eat anything. I was constantly throwing up. I was constantly living in a state of fear. And no one wants to live in fear. And so we know that there's stuff out there, but people are too afraid. I was too afraid. And so now that I know that I'm HIV positive, there's just so much stuff I can do now. I take my medication. I see my doctor on a regular basis. I see there every 3 months. I make sure. And for somebody who doesn't have insurance, it was the biggest problem for me, was because I didn't know where to get tested, where to get a free test. So we will be talking about where can you get free tests, and there's so many options around the United States where they offer free testing, and no one really knows about them. So we want to make sure that we advocate, for know your status, and once you know your status, to stay HIV negative. Or if you're HIV positive, we want you to be undetectable. That is the only way that we can get the zero transmission rate. And my life has been incredible since learning. And it's difficult because I have to take a medication every year. Every day at the same time. I have to make sure it's with food. First, I was on the 3-pill medication, so that was super hard to make sure that I would always take, all 3 pills at the same time every single day at the same hour. Make sure it's with food. Make sure that I have something to eat. 1 day, 2 days, you can't skip this medication, for anything. You have to take it religiously. So that has changed in my life, but for the better now. Now I can educate. Now I can be an advocate. And while I don't want somebody, I would like for people who are not HIV to be advocates. I feel like it's so important, somebody who is living with HIV, who doesn't have insurance, to be even more of an advocate for, making sure that we end zero transmissions.
Yes, and we're so happy, that you're sharing this story. And I can tell the more you talk, the more you're smiling.
I'm excited. I've always said I want to do something with domestic violence because it gets overshadowed by cancer because it shares the same month.
Yeah, breast cancer.
You never hear about domestic violence until a situation happens.
Yeah. Yes.
Like they don't pull out and give it the same effort that they give breast cancer.
Yes, yes.
They don't make it aware. We don't have an awareness for it. Like the only time someone gets involved is if someone gets hurt,
passed away, right?
If it's been a major thing. So I feel like I understand breast cancer is tremendous because I have a cousin who had breast cancer and I got her on me for breast cancer. So I do understand, but I also feel like the same energy we give to breast cancer, we need to give to domestic violence.
Right.
There are people out there who, because they're scared, they don't want to share their story, or they don't want to say anything because they're looking at it like, so where can I go? Nothing has been broadcast about safe places for them to go, or if I go here, will he find me, or different things like that. So a lot of women just
and a lot of them be scared to walk out the shelters because we've been there and they're still looking around, and when we go there, we can still see the bruises. And the last shelter my husband and I went to, and it was this little boy. He was, how old is the little boy? About 4 years old. And I was talking to him, and he was in my lap. All of a sudden, he just did a chokehold on me, and he was just shaking. I'm like, no. And his mom told me that's what he saw his dad do to her. Oh my God. And that's how he played. When he gets somebody, he just hook them, and then that's what he saw, and he thought that was normal play. And we had to talk to him and say, baby, that's not it. So, but he didn't know. He just always would see a left hook and something like that. Thank you for calling. This is Real Talk with Lady Hell. Who am I speaking with? Hey, Miss Virginia, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine. I've worked with Miss Virginia. She has a story. That's only if you feel that you can talk about it, Miss Virginia. That's totally up to you, or whatever you want to say to this lovely lady. This is her first time ever sharing her story. You just have to hear Miss Virginia's story. When you hear her story, you're like, this lady is amazing. And I truly thank you, Miss Virginia, for all the help you do with the women for domestic violence. She goes to court with the ladies. She helps them find apartments. She helps them go file the charges. Anything these ladies do, any time of night, Miss Virginia is there for them. And I truly thank you for that, Miss Virginia.
I needed Miss
You're very
Virginia.
welcome.
She said she needed Miss Virginia in her
Back
life.
then, yes, I
she
needed
said,
Miss Virginia back then.
Yeah, but you
Well, Miss
learn.
Virginia will be very,
Yes.
Miss Virginia will be very glad to be a part of your support team here.
Yes, ma'am.
We all need that. And I, too, am a survivor. It has been about 20 years, but each time I hear a story from a woman that is going through domestic violence or deal with a woman that is dealing with domestic violence, it brings my story back like it was yesterday.
Yes.
So I did live in silence myself for 14 years. I did that because I thought I was the only woman that was being abused. I was shamed. I didn't want no one to know anything about it. But when it got to the point where I was severely beaten, I had 246 stitches in my head. I was in a coma for 3 months. I died 3 times. And when I came out of my coma, I didn't know my children. I didn't know my family. I didn't know anyone. But I praise God that I'm a miracle walking today.
Yes.
And I promise God, because He gave me my life, that I will forever, always support and stand with and do everything I can to help women live in their life in domestic violence.
Yes, ma'am, and that's what she does. That's her daily journey every day to help women that needs the help. And I think you told me about the plate that you had in your head, Miss Virginia.
I had the stitches, 246,
246 stitches,
that was in my
and
head.
in a coma
I don't
for
have a
3
plate
months.
that's in there, praise God, but I had 246 stitches. And the doctors were telling me I wasn't going to be able to do this and I wasn't going to be able to do that, but amen, for my faith, I said the devil's a lie, and he is, because I am very prosperous today, and many women do listen to me. And when
Yes, they do.
do as if I don't understand them, then I share my story, because I don't want you or any other woman to look at me or anyone else like we are better.
Yes.
Because you will be surprised at women that deal with things behind closed doors and
Yes,
remain
ma'am.
silent.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I love you, Miss Virginia. I really wish I had you when, I was going through my situation, because, like I said, I didn't have anybody that I could turn to or talk to. So I would love to maybe do something, be active with you. As long as I could get involved, I would appreciate it so much.
Well, Lady Hell has my number.
Yes,
I would
ma'am.
not give my number out loud.
Oh, no, ma'am. I have it. Oh, no, ma'am. I'll make sure she does get it. And I hope you can come to our domestic violence seminar. And if you're available to come and speak, because you heard me, we're going to give 50 women from the domestic shelter hygiene bags. They're going to have snacks. We'll put hygiene, different little items in there. And then we're giving their children bags for like snacks, crayons, colors, toy bags, and things like that.
And when is this event?
October the 5th.
Okay.
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
check my calendar.
Yes, ma'am.
Get with me,
Yes, ma'am.
and we'll talk about it.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Virginia, and God bless you. And I'll make sure Miss Latrell gets your information.
Okay, and thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you. God bless you, Miss Virginia.
God bless you too.
All
Continue
right.
to hold your head up, my sister.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Miss Carol, you want to call in? Now you having to call in. Call in, Miss Carol, 281-318-8650. 281-318-8650. See, all it had to do was just take one person to say something. Miss Carol say, I'm praying for her and so many others like her, and healing is possible. I'm a survivor of domestic violence on so many levels. Being free is a choice of the decision, and healthiness. Blessings, everyone. If you want to call in Miss Carol, the number is 281-318-8650. Tell her always hold her head up. She's a queen. Yes, she is. She's a beautiful queen. Yes, ma'am.
Tell her I'm just learning to hold my head up.
Yes. Because she always saying my face. I'm like, what is it?
I swear.
I'm like, what is it with the face? I don't see it. What is it? You know.
I guess because I looked at it for so long, or I had to. It's on me.
Yes.
I guess I'm the only one that can say, and they be like, "Well, I don't see it."
No, we don't. We don't.
You kidding me? Because I see it every day, and they be like, "We don't see it," and I was like, I know that's why I knew it was consuming me, because that was just something that was eating away at me, and so I finally just said, listen, I'm either gonna live my life and be ashamed and walk with my head down, or hey, maybe I could talk. I can start talking, and maybe I can help somebody, and so.
And tell them about that business you have. Yeah, come on. Look at it. Yeah.
So
all of this you've done.
I have a plus size business with my best friend. It's called Perfectly Flawed. Mm-hmm. I called it Perfectly Flawed because of all the insecurities and flaws that I was dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like maybe if I'm not the only woman who's dealing with a lot of flaws, us as women anyway, we
right.
We can be a size 2 and say, "Oh, I have a little fat here."
Yep.
So,
we all gonna say that.
We cater to plus size women. Now we do smalls to large, but we mainly cater to plus size women. That's from a size extra large to a 7X. We carry shoes from a size 4 to a 15, sometimes 17. But we mainly want. When I was heavier, I could never find anything that looked cute for a plus size.
Yes.
They always wanted to have us. I call it curtains. They want to put a curtain on you, the moo-moo, or they put polka dots and these stripes of slap roses on something.
Right.
And I always feel like, well, we want to feel beautiful and sexy too. So, I always had a out of the box with colors, shapes, patterns.
Right.
So I feel like maybe if I can get a few women to say, "Hey, that's cute," then we can do it. And so.
So how can someone listening can order from you?
They can
Do you have a shop?
No, I don't have a physical shop.
It's
I'm online only.
Online boutique.
Yes, ma'am. They can go online, and it's I'm Perfectly, and it's spelled PURFECTLY, and Flawed is spelled FLAWD. So I'm perfectlyflawed.com. We're on Instagram at I'm Perfectly _flawed, and we're on Facebook at Perfectly Flawed. So hit me up. We've been in business for 4 years, but we just took off this year.
All right now.
When Miss Tiffany recognized us for the Rated Bougie Awards,
y'all got the clothing award.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, we got nominated. We didn't win it, but we got nominated.
Y'all did win. Yes, y'all did. Y'all took off. You did win.
That's
yes,
right.
You
So
did win.
a lot of doors have really opened up for us where we've been. We just did a fashion show for Dr. Sugar Trash.
Yes,
that'll be on Sunday. As a matter of fact, that'll be aired Sunday. So we really have been blessed to be to take it out. And I'm excited about where things are going. But I also do know that it's veering.
Yes,
because I know where I see me going, but because of everything that's happening, I know that I'm going. So I'm just going to follow whatever God says.
Right, because you never know how many women out there that need to hear your story.
And I'm not going to fight it anymore, because I was really fighting it. So I'm not going to fight it anymore. I actually, I have started writing my book about it. Maybe I can, save someone through my book. Yes. I haven't finished it, but it's almost done.
It's a start.
And I do also want to do nonprofit for my son, to keep his name, and maybe it can help
for the babies shaking syndrome.
Yes, ma'am. And then I eventually want to do a shelter.
Yes,
so I can help other women, because I know it's not a lot of shelters.
No, it's not. It's not a whole lot.
And kids
and the children.
Because a lot of times they want to split you up, or the kids have to be of a certain age before they can come. So they have that a lot. They have that a lot, to where the kids have to be,
they have to be little, right?
Yeah,
most of the shelters, they have to be little.
Like if they over 13,
they can't come.
They can't come because they consider young adults. And
and then they have other little babies and other. Yeah.
So
especially if they're male too.
If they're male, it's really hard, and so I said I was just gonna stop running from everything that I know I'm supposed to do, because I wrote everything down in 2002. I still have that book.
Yes.
Well, I wrote everything down, what I said I was gonna do and how I was gonna do it, and I'm just gonna say, forget it and okay, I'm just follow wherever you tell me to go.
Because you never know who's waiting to hear your voice. Yeah. We never know. It's somebody maybe sitting there like, oh, where has she been? I've been needing her, and somebody reach out to her because you've already had the exit plan. You've already know it, so you can help somebody, get out of the situation.
It's just more scared. Like, if I tell y'all I've been having my vision for almost 14 years, y'all be like, what? I just kept running backwards. I'm going this, God telling me, I'm going this way.
Right.
But I was like, you know what? I need to stop it because I can see my vision so clear, like I can touch it. And I feel like I've always been scared because I know once I open it, it's going to take off like wildfire. And I'll be like,
we're going to be right there to support
like,
you.
am I going to be able to keep up?
We're going to make sure you keep up.
I don't know am I going to stumble? Am I going to be able to keep up? You're
going to keep up, but we're going to make sure you keep up.
And that was what I was mainly scared of.
Yes.
Of me not being able to maybe keep up or,
put it in front of you.
Or staying the right way. So just want to make sure that maybe I can do that. So once I do that, but I do have a lot of plans that I really want to do, and so I'm excited about it.
Okay. We're excited for you. You got a lot of support from people. You have something you want to ask, John? You, DJ? Okay.
They were so lovely. Like, they talked to us. DJ played jail. We was singing. Like,
DJ know how to do a party, huh?
Yeah, they were so nice, though, and they conversated, and I talked about his podcast and stuff. So
yes.
I applaud him, but I had told him, I have a family member who, is going through that. And
yes.
Is, so I understand, and I applaud him. Like, again, that gets overshadowed. It's not noticeable until something happens, or if you're famous. Oh, and then everybody wants to talk about it, but we have to start somewhere. So I applaud all of y'all.
And your show the only one in Houston. Oh, it's in nationwide. You the only one
in Houston.
Oh, in Houston. I'm like, do we go nationwide?
Speaking into
I went nationwide. Oh yeah. Okay.
We are nationwide, but we don't know if there are any other shows.
Like here.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Oh well, New Orleans has one.
In Memphis. Okay.
New Orleans has their own radio station.
Oh, okay.
They have a whole radio station dedicated to people living with HIV.
In New Orleans?
In New Orleans.
All right.
Okay,
Yes.
and what number is New Orleans? I mean, what number are we? How many cases of AIDS?
Oh, so we have 17. So, I mean, we're number 12 in the nation.
What number is New Orleans? You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I
Because
know
they have
the statistics, too, because it's New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Atlanta. I know at one point it was Atlanta, then Baton Rouge, then New Orleans, and then like Houston was a little bit down the line. I have to pull up the statistics again a bit because I follow that. I know people that.
So this is a topic that needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
We want to definitely bring attention to the fact that HIV is still very much into existence here in Houston.
Yeah.
And while we're not talking about it, we have a lot of resources available, but the resources are not being reached to the people who need to be reached to.
Mm-hmm.
So what we really want to do is just bring the community together and start talking about it and doing something about it. So just not start talking, but actually doing something.
Yeah.
And how do we do something by just talking, and making it to existence? So we're really starting to focus on testing and getting tested every single 6 months.
Yeah.
If you're sexually active, I really recommend you get tested every 6 months, every 3 to 6 months if you're sexually active. And that way you know for sure that you're HIV negative, and you also don't have any STDs or STIs that you may be passing along with anybody else. So, and if you are negative, then get on PrEP. PrEP is a tool that we use. You take one pill every single day, and the pill is called Truvada.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
You see the commercial for Truvada. So
Yeah.
Truvada is the one pill that you take every day, and it has a 99.9% effectiveness. So if you are taking this, there is a pill now you can start taking that will making sure that you don't get HIV. And we have a lot of people that are being diagnosed with they're newly moms, and that's how they're being diagnosed. And we want to make sure that we end that cycle, and because a lot of people, they fear their partner. Their partner, like you were saying, like they abuse them, and they don't. They're saying that this is, I'm gonna have sex with you, without a condom.
Yeah.
And the female really doesn't have much to say about it. So we really want to put attention on all this information that's out there because people are still getting new rates of HIV. And the only way that we're going to be able to eliminate it completely is by doing something different. And so this is where Paws Impact came in, and we really want to make sure that we, bring the advertisement or bring the back into the front, because we feel like, HIV has been on the back burner these days now. And that's just no longer acceptable in any category, and it shouldn't be anywhere in the United States any longer. We are in 2019. We've had a pill now for 15 years that we know that it stops. So what are we doing wrong? So thank you, Lady Hill, for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Always.
I was telling him we learned about it maybe in the 9th or 10th grade, and then you didn't hear about it.
You didn't hear about it no more. You didn't hear
they
nothing
took it out
else.
of schools, and
that's what we were talking about last night, and the kids have no clue.
No clue about what's going on.
Yeah. So let's get to another guest. Hey, sweetie.
I got diagnosed 2 years ago. Actually, will be 2 years ago. I got diagnosed in April, and it was a life changing. First, I shouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for the drugs and the medication. And knowing your status is so important because I didn't have to suffer this. My T cell count was at 10 when I first got diagnosed, which is like 0 is the lowest and 800 is the highest, and I'm at a 10. And so that tells you that I was so sick. And so knowing your status, and that's because I was afraid as well to know my own status. And that's what I want to, that's the whole reason why for this podcast, is to bring more awareness about knowing your status and knowing that HIV is not a death sentence, but we do have to control it. And so U equals U, undetectable equals untransmittable. So once you on a regimen, you become untransmitted, you can't pass it to anybody else. But how do you know that you can't pass it? Or how do you know that you're HIV negative? Is by continuing taking blood tests every 3 months. So going to your doctor, if you're sexually active, continue taking PrEP, or ask about PrEP to your physician if that's something that you're interested in. It does help for people who like to have natural sex. And, there's people who are out there who want this. And so we have the opportunity to be able to have frank conversations with people who are currently taking PrEP, people who have been a long time HIV positive, who have been living it for 30 plus years, 20 plus years. We want to, bring the conversation back to the community. We want to be able to make sure that the community knows that HIV doesn't have a face. It's all of us.
My name is Antonio T. Smith Jr. In 2005, I had a close family member die to HIV. And to be honest with you, I'm still probably not even supposed to know it. In fact, the only reason I know it is because an angry family member said it in anger and it slipped out. And that's how I found out. And that's why I'm so passionate about this podcast, because I'm tired of people like me, family who would support and who would have loved on my cousin. She died alone. She died in the hospital bed, completely alone, because I didn't know. And because I was too busy playing basketball than being with my cousin. And I'm very passionate about what Josh Mica does. He wants to change the world, and I hope all of you contact him. And that's why I'm so extremely passionate about this podcast. But I suffer every day that I let my cousin die alone, because 2005 made me an ally, but I shouldn't have to go through a death like that to become an ally. All of us should be allies. That's my story, and that's why Josh is doing this podcast, and that's why we're here.
I finally build it back up, 'cause I've had enough. It's a minefield in my mind, and I'm headed for destruction. Mama, tell me it's alright before I turn to nothing.